Work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard.
Work, 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 work. Diamonds all in my ring, player. Gold watches, gold chain, player. $100,000 champagne, player. Yeah, my money insane, player. Yeah.
All right, welcome to Social Studies 6th graders, and you might be wondering, why is Mr. Mario playing Work Hard, Play Hard by the artist Wiz Khalifa? Well, that's because A, I like hip-hop, and B, that's the theme for the remainder of this quarter. We're going to work hard and also celebrate when we do. So with that said, today's topic is the Indus Valley once again, and today we will be discussing a religion that was created in the Indus Valley called Hinduism. Before we begin, make sure you're on the Independent Station page and go ahead and complete the fill in the blanks. Pause the video to do this now. All right, welcome back. Go ahead and check your answers. Your passage should now read, "The history of the Indian civilization is long and complicated, but it is also extremely interesting. Imagine being transported back to the ancient city of Mohenjo-Daro. This is known as the first perfect city because archaeologists dug up artifacts or objects that show how advanced the people who lived there were. You live right close to the Indus River, which is great because the water from the river helps irrigate your fields where you grow crops. Growing crops is the most important job in the city because it is crushed into flour and traded with other cities. You would use weights and scales to know how much grain is being traded. It is like money to your people. You are also walking through the town wearing a seal as a necklace that is used to keep evil spirits away. Finally, in your city, you are able to take baths in the Great Bath and also empty your waste into a sewer system that keeps your city and home clean." Go on to the next page and read along with me. We're going to be defining some of the vocabulary words in this passage afterwards, and you're going to have to make your own definition for each. Hinduism is a very old religion, so old that it began before recorded history. No single person started it. It developed slowly over a long period of time. In the 2nd century BCE, people called Aryans migrated into northern India. Some historians credit the Aryans with bringing parts of what later became Hinduism to India. Early Hindu religion is called Vedism, after the Vedas. The Vedas are a collection of sacred texts, including verses, hymns, prayers, and teachings written in Sanskrit. According to Hindu beliefs, Sanskrit is the language spoken by the gods. The Vedas were taught orally for hundreds of years before India had a written form of Sanskrit. Hindus still read the 4 Vedas texts today. This is the holy book for Hindus. Modern-day Hinduism is very complex. Many beliefs, many forms of worship, and thousands of deities, which are gods, exist side by side. But all Hindus share certain beliefs. The Vedas remain sacred to Hindus today. Along with later sacred texts, the Vedas lay out the basic beliefs of Hinduism. Hinduism has many complicated beliefs, but one of its most important ideas is that of reincarnation. Reincarnation is the idea that when a person dies, he or she returns to life in a new body. The life you live and the way you treat other people determines whether you are born into a better or worse life after you are reincarnated. You can be reincarnated an unlimited number of times before you finally reach the highest position. So at this point, you have your vocab masters with vocabulary words below. Define each word from the text in the boxes below. Use complete sentences. For example, the first word is Vedas. What I would do is go back to the passage, and many of these words are bolded. But in this case, the Vedas is not bolded, but that's all right, because I see Vedism is bolded, and so I can kind of skim along and see where the Vedas is, and boom, there, I found it. So I underlined that part that says the Vedas are a collection of sacred texts, including verses, hymns, prayers, and teachings written in Sanskrit. Well, what I'm going to do next is put that into my own words. I said the Vedas are Hinduism's sacred texts. Go ahead and write that down now. When you are finished writing that down, you're going to define the remaining vocabulary words. Use the reading to help you define these words. This will be done on your own. Pause the video to do this now. The next thing you're going to do is move on to this page. Your directions are to choose 2 of the words you just defined and complete the graphic organizers below. So, for example, you're going to write the word that you choose in the first graphic organizer in the circle. So, for instance, Mr. Mario chose reincarnation, so I wrote it right there in the center. The next thing I'm going to do is write my definition in the top left box. Draw a picture in the top right box. Use the word in a sentence in the bottom left box. And add any additional examples or notes in the bottom right box. Each one of these blanks must be filled in for both graphic organizers. You need to choose 2 words to do this.